What's up, guys? Dylan Shively here. You are tuning in to the Dylan Shively Podcast. Again, I am your host, Dylan Shively. Why am I beating that into your head? Because if you're watching this already and you don't know my name, you could go to dylanshively.com and find out everything of what I do and how I do it. So today's topic, I'll get right into it. This is going to be another short one, but it's going to be a good one. Most of my things, by the way, are based on personal experience and things that happen. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story. The quality of your word matters. I'm in an industry where we work with a lot of referral partners. We work with a lot of people in real estate. We work with a lot of people in the car world. So when you're dealing with people and you're making recommendations, the shit matters. Let me tell you the ripple effect of what happens when you just go referral person happy. So what I'm talking about is this. You ever have that friend that gives a recommendation that a movie's like really good and you gotta see it, and then you go and you see the movie and it kind of sucks, and then that same person says, man, I just had the best burger ever, and they go and they tell you to go to that burger spot, more than likely it's probably In-N-Out, and it sucked. Then they go and they tell you, oh man, I was just listening to this song. This is the best song ever. It's the most hype. It's this, it's this, it's this. They go and they tell you, and it sucked. Eventually, at some point, what you wind up doing is their next recommendation, you don't really believe them. You may even go as far as skipping over the recommendation and not even bother trying because the food sucked, the movie sucked, the song sucked. Everything else they recommend sucked by your standard. Well, now what happens? Anytime that person refers you anything and says how good it is, you're like, no, I'm probably not even going to attempt it. Well, here's what happens. Let's translate this to business. When somebody is looking for a referral for a company, and it's not somebody that you didn't even use before, well, how do you actually give that recommendation? Now, I'm not saying don't go and support people, but you should really find out who you're referring before you do it. I see it all the time where someone will say, this is the best so-and-so that exists. And then their relationship falls out. And then a couple weeks later, this is the best so-and-so in the industry that exists. And then a couple months later, this is the best so-and-so that exists. You can see the pattern, right? It's like the movie, the music, the food. They keep making recommendations and they keep saying that this person is now the best. Well, in reality, there is not multiple people that are the best. The term the best is saying that one person, that one individual, or that company is the best over everybody else. So when people see you tag, this is why social media is important. When people see you tag multiple people and you say they're all the best, or multiple people you're tagging and you're saying, this is the person you want to go to, whatever the recommendation is. Eventually, when you start making recommendations for people, it dilutes the integrity of your word. Now, here's what happens when somebody of a high achieving status or somebody with high standards is going through your stuff. When they see that you're supporting people, that's cool. But when you try to support everybody, you don't stand for anything. Because what happens when that person has a bad experience and then you jump to the next best, the next best, the next best, the next best? See how that's just kind of all over the place? That's even frustrating to even talk about now when you hear it. It's confusing. It's literally all over the place. So people who are looking for recommendations, next time they see your name, they're going to say, he or she's all over the place. You can't trust what they say. Well, if they can't trust the recommendation and you're also in business, how do they trust you? How do they trust what you're going to say next and do next? What if they start judging your business and your ability to get a job done, and maybe someone stops referring you because you're just referral person happy? So I want you to understand something. Again, I'm not saying don't collaborate with your friends. Some people would say I'm loyal to a fault. I will ride to the very end to either that person is out of the business or if they stop doing the things that made them, in my opinion, the best. I stay out of the whole referring everybody, because if I just keep throwing names out there every single time, well, now people are going to start to think that the quality of my word is diluted. And then that's, again, going to correlate to my business. Well, damn, if this dude's just willing to refer anybody, it seems like he has no standard whatsoever. People who you're looking to do business with, or people that you're looking to get into a relationship with, they all have standards. And the higher the standard, the stricter things are. So when you make the wrong move of just, let me go refer this person just because I want to be nice, because I want everybody to like me, you're going to realize that nobody fucking likes you. Because when you also, let's think of the person you're referring. I'm just going to use my industry just because it's easy for me. So if you refer me to help somebody with their credit and you're talking about how I'm the best, thank you. I appreciate that. But what do you think happens when that business owner, let's take me out of the equation, when that business owner that you tagged last week sees you now tagged me this week? And then now that business owner and me see you tag another person the next week. This happens when we're referring agents, when we're referring loan officers, when we're referring mechanics, construction people. It doesn't matter who it is. When you're just referring a new person day after day or week after week, what do you think it does to the quality of the relationship of the person you were just referring last time? It gets confusing. And if you're a business owner, maybe this happened to you. Maybe you weren't aware of it. You were just trying to be supportive. But I want you to understand how this actually impacts you in multiple ways. Well, now we're at question of, hey, did we screw up with that person? Because they used to refer me. Why are they referring someone else? And all it really boils down to most times is that, you're trying to be nice. You're trying to say there's enough for everybody. You're trying to say, let everybody win. Well, high achievers and people who want to dominate don't see it that way. We want to know what we did wrong because we care about our business. So if we did something wrong, which is immediately what we go to, we're thinking you're expressing that by tagging someone else. So be cautious of the tags you're putting out there. Be cautious of the people you're recommending and the amount of people that you recommend. Because put yourself in those shoes. I'm sure you've had it happen. Some of you may be nodding your head right now. Like, yeah, I thought I screwed up with this person, but, they were just trying to, share pieces of the pie. And that's cool for you, but that don't work for me. That also, again, dilutes your word. So it hurts you, it hurts the people around you, and it's hard for you to hold a strong, deep connection and relationship with somebody, because if you're out there just referring next and next and next and next, you're now diluting the quality of your word, and ultimately, nobody trusts you at that point. Nobody wants to do anything with you at that point because you don't even commit to the one person. So be cautious of what you're saying. Be cautious of who you're recommending. Be cautious of the amount of people you recommend, because before you know it, your word's diluted and you go from everybody liking you to nobody liking you because they don't know if they can trust you. And we all know it's about know, like, and trust when it comes to business. So you could be hurting yourself by doing this. Guys, if you got any value from this, if you resonated with anything, if it made you think a little bit different, all I want to ask is if you can share the show, subscribe to it, share it with somebody, so then that way we can get this message out there.